Hello once again, welcome to Prague and the PokerStars European Poker Tour. This is the third day of our live coverage. It's day 4 of the main event, live from King's Casino at the Hilton Prague, the day when we play down from 42 to the final 2 tables. Our ambition today is to get down to the final 16 players. And let's check on the biggest stacks. These are the chip leaders. Now, interestingly, Joe, Gab Yong Kim, who is the chip leader coming into today, had a deep run the last time there was a main event in Prague. 2019, the year that Nikolai Pabal won his second EPT title. Gab Yong Kim bubbled the official final table, finishing in 9th.
Young Gabba Gabba, I'm into it. Redemption.
No surprise to see Turn Mulder among the chip leaders, a player we have followed a lot online over the last 2 years. And Jack Sinclair from the UK had a deep run here in Prague in 2017, made the top 50, one of the biggest stacks with the blinds at 10, 20.
Just one.
90-minute levels, potentially 4 to 5 levels being played today. And these are the players we'll be watching on the main stage. This is our first featured table, headlined by one of 3 former EPT champions still in the field. Adrian Mateos, champion in Monte Carlo in 2015. He's at the feature table. At the outer tables, we have Dimitar Danchev, PCA 2013 winner, and Hussein Ensan. Yes, Hussein is probably best known as a World Series of Poker main event winner.
But first known.
Absolutely, for winning here in Prague in 2015. And that is the storyline which I think everyone is following, Joe. Can Hussein Ensan win the same live EPT twice? We see the action folded to Mateos in the cutoff.
Chiriac eventually coming to the right decision based on Mateos' hand. You can think about, see why he would think about it. Late position raise could easily be far worse than ace-queen or ace-6. We have a 9-4 defend from Kanakchev, which is a single gutter at this point. Yep. But between the 6, the 9, the 4, still had 30% equity here. A raise, all right. Little semi-bluff.
Kanakchev making it 150,000. Mateos calls, and ace high still the best hand. Mateos now a 4-1 favorite.
If Mateos fires again, probably will be the end of this hand. The likelihood goes up that the 9s and 4s aren't live anymore.
Yeah. Action goes check, check, and this hand goes to the river. The deuce of diamonds, so ace high, still ahead for Mateos.
And this is why position is so important. Konakchev probably doesn't want to show down 9 high.
No.
But do you really want to bet on this board when you've made, no attempt?
But he can put Mateos to the test here. 410,000 in the middle. The effective stack, 365K.
I don't know. Adrian is, we've seen him call him be right. Yesterday we saw him call him be wrong. Both of those things are scary.
Of course. And if there is anyone capable of calling all in with ace high, if they think they could be ahead, it is Mateos.
There he is.
Shoves on Mateos. It's all in to call. Mateos just has ace high, but that is the best hand.
This will be a hell of a way to start the day. Absolute soul read, snap off, ace high, double up.
I imagine those time bank cards will be used here. Mateos will not want to make a snap decision.
He rarely does. Also, yeah, we're focusing on Mateos here, Konakchev.
Yeah.
This looks easy, right? This looks easy. I have 9 high. I can put my opponent all in. Not as easy as it looks.
A very bold move by Konakchev. And will we see an awesome hero call from Adrian Mateos, a very skilled live and online player. Worst case scenario, 10K high roller starts today.
I mean, that's a pretty bad case for most of us. Oh, I get to lose this tournament and spend another 10K? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What did he just pick up on? I would be freaking out right now.
Only the third hand of the day. And it's a doozy. Mateos is running out of time. And he folds. He lays down the best hand. Konakchev's bluff gets through. Meanwhile, you may have noticed that the field ticker just went down from 42 to 41. I referenced that on the first hand of the day, Jack Sinclair lost most of his chips, doubling up Andrea Cortellazzi. A couple of hands later, Sinclair gets it in with ace-8 against Gabyon Kim's sixes. Jack Sinclair did not win the race and is out in 42nd place for 17,780 euros, and that sucks. You come in 10th in chips out of a field of 42 and you go out first. Action starts here with David Huspeka. Pocket tens opens under the gun. Makes it 40K. Still at the 10-20 blind level. Uh-oh, nines for Mateos. And with his stack size, Joe, I fear for his future in this tournament. Wow.
Yeah.
Just a call from Mateos.
I mean, I think that the couple of big blinds he's picked up over the last couple hands make a big difference as to whether or not he's going to ship there. And over 20 big blinds, people don't look at that stack the same way they did a few years ago.
Well, Ezekiel Weigel, who recently joined the table, is sitting there with ace-queen. And Weigel has elected just to call. No squeeze. Ace-king for Konechiev in the small.
4 premium to just about premium hands.
This is why I told you to hold off on the cranking.
I mean, it kind of feels like I have cranked the cooler machine, that is. It looks like such a squeeze spot, too.
220,000 the 3-bet.
Oh, come on, 5 deuce, really? What a bummer.
Okay, so back on the original razor.
You play 750 behind?
If a specker gets involved here,
Yeah, it's
maybe
Re-involved?
maybe this saves Mateos.
Yes. Yes, I think that's pretty likely to happen. I don't see, I mean, if his specker gets involved, I see him getting involved. I mean, this is, he's got everybody covered. Tens is too strong to fold. I don't think he thinks Konechiev is going to be messing around here too often.
Yeah.
Like, I just, you know, even though it looks like a squeeze spot, I don't think people are just going to be squeezing for the sake of it here too often with the table chip leader raising under the gun.
So Husbeka moves all in, and he's got everyone else covered. Mateos quickly folds the 9s. Weigel out with ace-queen. Konechiev checks back. Ace-king is the hand. It's all into call. And Joe, you highlighted the money jump that happens at 39. He's looking back. What's happening to the other tables?
Such a sick spot. Because Husbeka's range is so narrow now.
Playing a time bank card. The clock will be reset. He will get an additional 30 seconds. Do your work, Bernie.
I mean, this range is super, super narrow now. It's tens, it's jacks. I don't even think it's ace-queen, honestly, very often. Tens, jacks, queens, kings, aces, ace-king, which obviously you're blocking some of those. I don't even know if 9s do this. I think it's going to be exactly this matchup most of the time. Tens, jacks, queens.
He's made the call, and we're off to the races. Konechiev with the overs, Husbeka with the pocket pair, and it is the Bulgarian who's at risk here.
Like AC versus DC. One of these two hands has a slight mathematical advantage.
Obviously, we saw the ace-queen folded by Weigel, so it's not quite 50-50. Husbeka close to a 6-4 favorite. The flop is king high, top pair for Konechiev, and likely to double up now. This is a huge pot, 2,060,000.
Club's not a factor.
There's Mateos' 9.
Really saved him, didn't it?
Konechiev just has to fade a 10 on the river. And Konechiev doubles up to probably take the chip lead now. He's going to have more than 2 million. And Huspecker has just been Sinclaired. He's gone from being a big stack to having crumbs. Just over 100K. We've got Hydorn opening with 10s. Round to the blinds. Colonius in the small. Jack 5 of clubs. Folds. Mateos in the big. Sevens.
Mateos with a hand a couple of notches lower than 9s now, closing the action. Still has better than 20 big blinds. Not facing a late position raise, but a relatively early one. Ooh, surprising.
Adrian Mateos is all in with 7s. Hydorn has him crushed with 10s. Hasn't called yet, though.
I don't see. This is I don't think this is a slow roll or a nit roll. I think this is a... I guess it's a nit roll because he's not at risk. So waiting to see if another player busts during the hand doesn't really mean much, unless he's doing it for Mateos.
So Mateos not quite all in. 3-bet to 445, left himself 30 back. Of course, everyone just trying to stay across what's happening at the other tables, hoping that someone goes out on 40th, knowing there's a money jump when we're down to 39.
It was a strange delay.
I think I heard Hydorn actually say to Mateos, I am calling, but I'll use my time. It's like a...
I mean, it's courteous to Mateos, but not whoever's about to go broke on the other table.
Well, looks like there isn't any action on the other table. So here we go. Mateos all in with 7s. Hydorn has him covered and has the dominating hand, pocket 10s.
Could be it for your boy. Amadi Amoline.
Flop has a 10 on it. Not looking good for Mateos. He knows he's drawing super thin now.
That is incredibly likely to be lights out.
Yeah, likely to be drawing dead on the turn.
Do we want a sweat? Why not?
Love a good sweat. We do not get the sweat, and Adrian Mateos is eliminated in 40th place, cashing for just shy of 18,000 euros. We started the day with 3 former EPT champs, now just 2 remain, Danchev and Ensan, as Mateos exits the stage.
Buenos dias, Adrian. Or in this case, adios.
Hey, David Huspecker laddered. Now guaranteed close to 21,000 euros. And he is all in with Queen 9 of diamonds. Ace-7 offsuit for Alexandros Kolonius. He's got the Spraggy.
Huspeck gonna get action. Was very likely to get action to begin with from whatever was in the big blind.
So the next pay jump will be when we're down to 31. Colonius also all in. Oh no, I thought he said all in. He said call.
I mean, it's a big chunk of his stack.
No small blind in this hand, just the big blind of Kyriak, who has ace-4 off.
Hey, there's no small blinds ever. Just small people.
And, okay, Kyriak calling as well. So one player all in, potential action on the side. Ace, king, 4. Good night, Colonius. No way he does not put the rest of his chips in on this flop, but it is domination rotation with Kyriak flopping 2 pair. Kyriak has checked. That is the red triangle of death that's been presented to Husbeka, and it's not looking good for him, just 3%.
Definitely going to live up to its name on this one. Possibly twice.
60.
Colonius is playing this weirdly. The pre-flop call, the bet of 60,000 on the flop. Kyriak shoves on him.
I mean, can Colonius fold now?
No, he calls it off. So 3-way all-in, 2 players at risk, and we could get a double KO here. Kyriak is 70% favorite.
You think if he jams ace-7 pre-flop that Kyriak folds ace-4? Probably, right? Seen a little funky pre-flop play.
That was very funky. I mean, maybe Colonius has been watching our live streams. We do have evidence that moving all in with ace-7 offsuit does not work out. CF Spraggy.
Moving all in with pocket sevens didn't work out either for Amati. And that was a bit of a surprise.
Turn card is the 3 of clubs. And Husbeka is drawing dead. He is definitely out. Colonius has a few outs, but not many. River card is a jack, and aces and 4s hold, and it is a double elimination. Husbeka and Colonius both hit the rail and both cash for 20,890 euros, and we are down to 37 players. Turn MULDER, Spirit of the Horse. He is headlining our new feature table. We're going to get to see the player who has crushed the highest stakes online for the last 2 years play at an EPT feature table.
I wasn't. Yeah. Nope.
Now, we lost to Adrian Mateos during the first level of the day. We still have 2 former champs. Hussein Ensan is on one of the outer tables. Dimitar Danchev is at the feature table. A little bit short right now with 545k. Blinds going to 10,000, 25,000 with a 25k big blind ante. In the 1 seat, Spirit of the Horse. It's Tino MULDER himself. Ace Queen in the hijack. And he's raising to 50,000. Victor Katzenberger. So this is a player with nearly 800k in live earnings. And we have folded around to the big blind. Juan Carlos Vecino Duenas. Spanish player who lives in Estonia, flats the raise, king, queen of strawberries, 5-4 deuce on the flop. Ace high still the best hand. Mulder with the straight draw, the wheel draw.
Yeah, it's one of those hands, king, queen, you're going to feel really confident about playing it. And really, in terms of this dynamic where you've got the hijack open, you're playing the big blind, it's going to be towards the top of your range, I think. And unfortunately, dominated in this scenario, although this isn't really a texture where I think you're going to lose too many chips, right? If it came queen high, obviously a different story.
$35,000 the c-bet from Mulder, and Vecino calls.
Oh, what was I just saying, James?
Top pair for both players. The ace kicker very much deciding things.
Oh, this is such a murder card because the ace-queen has all of the justification to want to continue in this scenario. The only thing that might slow down ace-queen is the fact that the effective stack depth now, the SPR, the stack to pot ratio, is about 1.5. So you might be a bit concerned about getting check raised by a flop straight or a two pair or something like that. But I think for the most part, we're just going to see him continue here because it is a very, very meaningful card for ace-queen.
$55,000. And this is getting expensive for a player who only has 330 behind.
Okay, looks like a call. I mean, you're definitely not going to float and then give up when you've turned top pair, am I right? Oh, but this is the kind of river that might slow down ace-queen, right? The 6 completing a lot of straights. You've got a ton of showdown. The big blind defend is going to have plenty of stuff here that makes this straight and possibly two pair, like 5-6, 4-6, that kind of thing. Even, as weak as 6 deuce suited might even be calling in the big blind here versus the pure min pre-flop. Never mind. I take it back.
Mulder does not slow down. Moves all in. Vecino calls all in and is all out.
Oh
36th place finisher, and we might have a new chip leader. Mulder now playing 2.4 million.
Decent start.
Ooh. Ooh. Oh. Oh. What a time. What a time to have the sweat.
A mini sweat. 150,000 is the size of the 3-bet. Meanwhile, we have just dropped to 34 players. We say goodbye to David Viniagamurthi from Norway, who's just gone out in 35th for nearly 21,000 euros.
These are really, really difficult spots, James. I mean, you have ace-king, right? I'm not saying he doesn't have an absolutely primo hand, but these guys are relatively deep if you look at it in relation to sort of tournament stacks and on average.
Yeah.
And you don't want to just be dumping this in when you have enough chips behind to go ahead and slow it down and play the hand as is. And you're not really shallow enough to justify just banging it in as a 4-bet shove or even just 4-betting and getting it in, really. So he's just going to opt for the call instead, which I appreciate. And these deeper stack situations are really where fortunes are won and made. This is where these are some of the really difficult situations to try and study for and prepare for, and they can be the most meaningful in a tournament like this. Okay, so the check on that flop, to me, suggests that Mulder is going to turn up here with ace-queen, ace-king, that kind of thing quite often. That's not to say that he can't have aces and slow down. He might be thinking, I don't want to inflate the size of the pot if this guy is just calling with 5s, 8s, 7s. This could just be for pot control. if you have aces, it kind of disguises the strength of your hand, but also it means that you're not going to inflate the pot on the flop, where you're going to end up doing your stack on later streets. So if he does have aces, I think now is the time when he would want to probably up the ante. If he was going to actually find the miss C bet on the flop.
Still goes check, check.
Okay.
And the 4 of clubs on the river.
So it might be a little bit premature, James. If we don't see any action on this river, I think it might be the old choppy choppy. I mean, his opponent hasn't shown a lot of aggression, so that was an opportunity for him to try and rep something, but I don't know if he's telling the right story, you know what I mean, James? Like, if you did have a 7 or an 8 or you had some sort of a draw, you probably would have represented it at this point, turned it into a semi-bluff or tried to protect the equity of your made hand.
Yeah.
I'm kind of expecting just a check-check river here, given the action on flop and turn. Never mind. He's proved me wrong once already today with that ace-queen, king-queen situation. He does make a river bet. Perhaps he's thinking, I think I might be free-rolling here. If I bet this river, there's a chance that I can just get him off a similar kind of hand. Although perhaps he wouldn't put him exactly on ace-king.
120,000 is the river bet. Alberta buying some time, plays a 30-second time bank card.
It's a really, really wet board, James. This is it's not easy. I think he kind of knows that he's not being completely out of line by considering a call with ace king here, but given the action, is he calling for a chop? You know what I mean? This is such a tricky one, and that's why this river is so crucial. Makes a call.
We're going to see Mulder's other card. Ace 5 of diamonds. He had artisanal sourdough.
Easy game.
And it was domination rotation. Makes the thin value bet on the river and gets paid off next.
Absolutely. And these are the situations I'd absolutely love to be wrong. You know, Mulder just finding these spots, just playing way out of the box, and that's exactly what we came here to see. Genuinely thrilled to see him turn over such a thin value bet on that river, and indeed not the combo that we thought he had given the action played. It's really exciting. This is what we came here for, guys. Mulder, big blind suited hand, must call. Seems pretty expected, especially from a player who can play the way he's been playing so far, and that is a very nice board for 2 clubs. $40,000 is the bet. Jack 10 just with the straight draw. Still the best hand, of course, with Jack high too, but Mulder is going to be going absolutely nowhere with his flush draw. It just depends if he wants to play it as a check raise or if he's going to play it as a call, really.
Always love an open-ender against a flush draw. Literally 50-50. And 40,000 apiece takes us to the turn, which is...
There it is.
A club.
Quick check.
Love it.
We know how aggressive these high-level players are, James. Is he going to fire? No, he decides that he's just going to check turn instead. Oh.
Well, it's a bit of an action killer.
It is indeed. How many clubs in this deck, James?
13. Next question.
Thank you. Thank you for your question. suppose technically Mulder should have more ace of clubs in his range. Sorry, Shaw, excuse me, should have more ace of clubs in his range than Mulder. So the pot was 215. Mulder decides to make it 60K. So around 1/4 pot river.
Shaw has jack high.
I mean, there's no reason why Shaw couldn't raise this river. As I said, he should have a couple more ace of clubs in his range, being the UTG opener. And I think that's exactly what he's going to do. Really, really like this play. Mulder is definitely the kind of guy who is capable of making the call, though.
Question, Nick.
Yeah,
If Shaw has a big club in his hand, would he check back the turn?
that's a great question. I think if he had a hand like ace 10, ace jack with the ace of clubs, he might try and take the free card once in a while. But I don't know. Like I said, these guys are so aggressive. When you've got the blocker, I think you're probably going to go ahead and bet quite frequently.
And Mulder sniffs it out, calls the bluff, calls the river, and wins another pot. He is very much table captain, not just because he's got the biggest stack,
Yep.
but also he just seems to be owning every other player.
Yeah.
Mulder again. I'm just excited when he's in a pot, James. I really am. This is really what we love to see when we're doing this kind of cards up coverage. Very exciting for players that want to improve their game and see what these guys are doing at the very highest level. Queen 10 off from the cutoff seems like a hand you're going to want to play, especially off a 3.26 million starting stack.
Oh,
But aces for Katzenberger on the dealer button, and he's looking pretty shallow here, James. He's under 20 big blinds effective, so not going to struggle to get the chips all in here.
Victor Katzenberger, third place finisher in EPT Monte Carlo in 2019, just flats with aces on the button, and it's ace-7 suited for Luigi Shahada in the small blind. Is he thinking of squeezing here?
Oh my gosh, this is a spot. I mean, you are so tempted to flat in this scenario. I wonder if Katzenberger was looking at his stack and going, this is a great spot for me to try and get the squeeze off the small blind here. I would struggle to not squeeze this. He makes the fold, though, very nice. It's so tempting, isn't it, James?
Yeah. Hussein Ensan, 8-4 of diamonds in the big blind, looking to defend his Prague title from 2015.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about flatting the button here is you're going to let the big blind come along with a lot of different hands. And 8-4 suited is definitely going to be one of them.
So we are going three-way to the flop. Katzenberger slow playing the aces on the button. Mulder with the pre-flop betting lead. Ensan out of position. The flop. Queen,
Oh, no.
Queen, 7 trips for Mulder. Katzenberger out-flopped.
Like James said earlier, we saw a flat with the aces before, and this is the issue. Sometimes you let them in. You let them in cheap. What? Wait, what's this? Ensan deciding to lead at this flop.
Oh, it's so gloriously Ensan.
Oh, it is. And, I mean, this is just, the setup is unbelievable here. You've got Queen 10. This guy's trapped you with aces. You know you're going to win a bunch of chips. You got Ensan with no hand doing all the betting for you. It's the dream. This is what EPT dreams are made of.
He's got a backdoor draw, Nick. Give him some credit. 5%
Sorry.
equity. 90,000 is his lead. Mulder, 9-1 favorite here. Trip queens. Just calls. Now Katzenberger.
Oh, my God, he hates life. He's hating life right now. Why did I flat these aces?
So 2 callers, and Ensan somehow gets to the turn with this hand.
Please, diamond. Please give him a diamond. All right, king of clubs.
King on the turn, and Ensan is now drawing dead. Katzenberger's down to 3%. Hussein, I love you, buddy. Stop betting. He's checked.
Yeah, he's going to slow down now, obviously. Trying to do something kind of cheeky there, but he knows that it's time to slow down when you got two players calling behind. Mulder checks to the aces. Oh, he's going to make a bet. James.
455,000 in the middle, and Katzenberger bets 55,000. Ensan folds, and Mulder is going to take his sweet time as he enjoys that sweet tea.
He's never looked more Le Chiffre-like ever.
Casually plays a time bank card. I'm going to need time to think about this. So remember, ace-7 was folded pre-flop. Katzenberger is drawing to 1 out, the last remaining ace in the deck. As Mulder shoves on him, all into call for Katzenberger, who's kind of committed at this point.
Yeah, he has kind of committed himself, but oh, you just don't feel good about your aces no more, do you?
Step 1, throw up in your mouth. Step 2, cycle.
Yeah, exactly, James. His face said it all. His face said what you just said. I'm so committed to this pot, but like, how do I ever win here?
Plays the time bank. Bernie the Lizard, give us another 30 seconds on the clock, please.
He's just got to ask himself, does he ever have a bluff here? Like, he might do this with a king, but like, what kind of a king gets to this turn? Like, what kind of a king is going to be here on this turn that he's going to want to see? Given the pre-flop and flop action, how many king X combos is he going to have here that he thinks he's value shoving, especially given the way that the hand is played out? And would a king shove it against the aggressive action on the turn? Because they could still just be sitting there with a queen.
Spirit of the horse, indeed. He doesn't like it, but he has to go along with it. And he calls all in and is drawing to the last remaining ace in the deck. If it isn't the ace of hearts on the river, we lose Victor Katzenberger in 27th place.
Yeah, you can't blame him. He's very, very committed to this pot, and he's played his hand so disguised. You really feel for him, but this happens sometimes.
The ultimate Barry Greenstein required here.
Oh, man, that would be a really, really flaming Barry.
Nope. Instead, it's quads for Mulder. It's hashtag death by quads for Katzenberger. And we are down to 26 players in the EPT Prague main event.
And the rich get richer. My man cannot put a foot wrong. He's playing good. He's running good. What else do you want?
Change the deck, please.
Change the deck, please, he says. He knows he's running hot. And that wall of chips next to him. Look, it's not a wall. It's like a tower.
3.8 million for the chip leader. Turn Mulder. More than 150 big blinds.
It's his fortress of solitude, James. He's up there, chip leader all on his own.
All in. All in. Number 5 and call. All in call.
Well, this is the one.
It's going to be a call, I think. Yep. And ace-9 is the slight mathematical favorite. Again, 2 live cards, though, for Shahade.
2 live cards. Paint.
This could be the 24 table redraw if we see Shahade exit now.
Looking for a lady king. Looking for a man queen. Gonna need to hit one of those or something else funky. So far, no funk. 10 high flop.
Nine of clubs, not a terrible card to have on this board.
Yeah, well, we're gonna need more than clubs at this point. I mean, less than clubs. Less than clubs. Shahade is the one. Still looking for a king, looking for a queen. Anything else? And we are redrawing.
GG, guys.
GG.
Arrivederci, Luigi Shahade. He is Shahade here.
Shahade here leaves with 28,510 euros. Not too shabby, my friend. See you next time.
And that means we are going to take another short break.
I think they want to make a redraw now.
This is the business end of the poker tournament. Over 1,100 people started this event. We're down to 24 now. And when we say redraw, what that means there's 3 tables left. We're going to mix up all the players again. And after that, we will be back for the final 3 tables from EPT Prague.